Hey guys, really happy to have you here today. Adam Markley, publisher of Dealmaker Wealth Society, with Carl Allen, as many of you guys know.
Hey guys, happy Monday.
Today is Mindset Monday. Today we are talking about how to put yourself in the right frame of mind to do what you want to do, and that's to become the best deal maker in the world. How to change your life, ultimate wealth creator, the ultimate way to provide the freedom and flexibility you want. It's owning businesses, right, Carl?
Absolutely. Looking forward to this.
So we're excited. We're really excited. We're going to be talking today about what Carl and I do to build the best deal making network possible. And this is where we're finding deals, we're meeting sellers, representatives, and things like that. Just a little bit of an inspirational thing for you guys on this Monday. I know, like many of you, we're stuck inside, right? We're stuck on our home turf, and what that's allowing us to do, both Carl and I, is to really hone in on our deal making and our networks while providing the best platform possible for you guys to build your own. So what I have to say, Carl, first is it's all about networking. That's the key here, and we're going to have a challenge for people before we sign off here. But first and foremost, can you talk us through what you're doing on a weekly, monthly basis to expand your network and make it so the deals are coming to you, not you going to the deals?
Yeah, so I'm going to answer that in a couple of ways. As we talk about all the time, there are really two skills that you need to master to become a world-class deal maker. One is your own mindset, to get you to a state where you're taking action, massive action each and every day. Challenging right now, I guess, but I'm going to give you a couple of quick hacks on that in a minute. But then the second thing is about the mastering of building relationships and building rapport. We are in a relationship business. When I worked in corporate M&A, then those deals were essentially concepts of financial engineering. Your HP, you've got a big share price, you trade your shares to buy the shares of another company. So it's all about financial engineering. When you're buying and selling small businesses, and what I mean by small businesses is businesses say $10 million in annual revenues, those deals are really all about psychology. They're not about numbers. So building relationships, building rapport, and understanding what's making the seller tick and really eliciting what they want from the deal really is the entire ball of wax. So the more relationships that you build, it not only helps you negotiate a really good deal, but at the start of your journey, it's what you need to do to get deal flow. So we talk all the time about the primary methods of driving deal origination, getting deal flow. And really that's the holy grail, especially off-market deals. What I mean by off-market deals is deals that are not out there in the public domain. The big mistake that most first-time deal makers make is they go to business broker websites. And the advantage, I suppose, of business broker websites is the businesses are for sale because the company's gone to a broker, they've appraised the business, they've listed it on a website. To be honest with you, they don't tend to do much more than that. So the sellers put their hand up and said, I want to sell my business. The problem with that is twofold. One, we find that those deals are typically way overvalued. And secondly, it's really, really hard to build a relationship directly with that business owner. So for you and I, and the most successful deal makers that we have out of the 4,000 to 5,000 that we coach and train on a daily basis, they're out there building relationships. They're building relationships with people that they know in business, people that they know in their community, and most importantly, they're building relationships inside of what I call the deal intermediary network. And what that is imagine, Adam, for a minute, that you're a small business owner and you've decided for whatever reason, illness, frustration, burnout, retirement, run out of ideas, fed up, whatever it is, you've decided it's now time for you to sell your business. Before you go anywhere near a business broker, and bearing in mind, 80% of businesses that are sold in the United States don't sell through a broker. They sell through a network that we're looking to build. Before you go anywhere near a business broker, you're going to go and tell 5 people. You're going to go and tell your spouse or significant other. So we're not going to network with those people. But then you're going to talk to your wealth manager, your CPA, your attorney, and a bank or other financier that is supporting your business today. So if you're a deal maker and you want to get access to an avalanche, a torrent of potentially off-market deals, those are the 4 types of people that you've got to network with, and start in your own area. You may know some of these people already. If not, go on LinkedIn. Have a great LinkedIn profile. We have some training on how to do that. And then reach out and connect with those 4 different types of deal intermediary, and then start to have a conversation with them. Obviously, you can't go and meet them right now, have a coffee or a beer or lunch or whatever, but with Zoom and Skype and all these great tools that we now have, you can still build relationships and rapport online, because they're in exactly the same boat today that we are. They can't, I'm not in my office at home because it's quite dark. I'm actually because it's 4 p.m. in the UK where I'm quarantined right now. So I'm at the back of the house in one of the bedrooms where the light is the best. So everyone's in the same boat. And by starting those conversations, before you get into any kind of deal chat or whatever, just ask them how they are. How are they coping with isolation, with coronavirus? Is there anything that you can do to assist them at this moment in time? And 99.99% of them won't need your help, but you're instantly building a connection. You're building rapport, because they'll think, what a nice guy, what a nice lady asking me how I am and how they can help. So they're instantly disarmed, and they're going to want to have a conversation with you. And just ask those 4 people, do they have clients or businesses potentially they think could be for sale that are inside of their network? And all 4 of them have got a vested interest. So a wealth manager will want to help you, because if you buy a business, that seller is probably going to get some money at some point, whether it's a closing payment, but more commonly it's going to be a stream of seller financing payments. That client, that seller, is going to need to invest that money. So the wealth manager is going to make money by investing his client's money. The CPA is going to help the seller prepare the business for sale. Or if they don't have a client that's selling, they can go out and find deals for you and then act as your CPA and do your due diligence for a contingent fee. Same with attorneys. They might have clients that want to sell and they can introduce you. Or if they don't, they can go and find them through their own legal network and then act as your attorney to do the legal due diligence and the legal documentation, again, on a contingency fee. Financiers who've put trillions of dollars into small business, not just in the US, but also Canada, UK, and Australia, they know all of their businesses that are potentially looking to sell. So networking with all of these different deal intermediaries is a super quick way to build great relationships and get deal flow. Because the other thing about talking to all those people, especially the financier, the CPA, and the lawyer, is you're again building relationships with people that can help you close the deal that you find. So that's why we do these types of networks.
Well, and not just that, right? I used to fit one of those 4 buckets. I used to be an accountant, practicing accountant, started my career in public accounting. But you're absolutely right. These 4 intermediaries are the most important in terms of true networking, right? We're looking at people who are going to be involved in a deal, no matter what's going on, either before, during, or after. And it's super critical that people are aware of who these folks are. And it can be as simple as just looking who's in your neighborhood or who lives around you. These are people who are constantly around. There's a ton of CPAs and attorneys out there. So something that I have that I always make a goal for myself is, am I talking with either new or existing relationships I have within those 4 intermediaries? Am I talking to attorneys, accountants, wealth managers? Am I talking to any of these people on a weekly basis? And if I'm not, then I'm not doing my job as a deal maker correct, right?
Absolutely.
So I think what we'd like to do on this kind of Mindset Monday, we'd love to have a real strong challenge for you guys. here in the next,
Yeah.
by the time we get to next Monday, how many people of the buckets that Carl's talked about, the 4, how many of them are you willing to talk to and will actually make the steps to talk to, right? So Carl, read those off for everyone one more time.
Yep. So attorneys, small business attorneys, CPAs, which is a certified public accountant or an accountancy, or it could be a tax advisor, wealth managers. There's gazillions of them all over the place, and they're all small little 1- and 2-man enterprises, and also financiers. So banks, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of banks, and even specialist financiers as well, even angel investors, people that have put money into existing businesses and are aware that the seller is looking to move on and do something else. And they're easy to find. There's this great tool called Google. So you go into Google and you just
Even better, Carl, there's this great tool called LinkedIn where you can track geographically people who live right in your city or your town or your village. Who's a CPA, who's an accountant, who's a wealth manager, who's an attorney, who's a banker, a financier. Like, these are the people who live and work with us. And the best thing is you don't have to sit with them in person to build a relationship with them. They are all seeing different things as a result of, again, this kind of broader lock-in or shut-in we're all experiencing in many shapes or forms. But the idea is that these are people you can work with and through, build a relationship with. Be sure to set up, hey, when this thing's over, here's my local pub or my local bar, and I'm ready to have drinks with you. So
I'm buying.
Yeah, and I'm buying. So the challenge for you guys is this, is in the next 7 days, right? Tuesday, really, we'll start today, Monday all the way through next Monday, right? You've got 7 days. How many of you can talk to at least one of these people? How many of you can do 2? Who can be an all-star and do 5? And these aren't token touch points. You don't just be like, hey, check the box, I talked to you, click. No. We need and want for you guys real relationship building steps. We want these to be conversations where you're sitting down and you're talking with someone about what they're experiencing, what they're facing, what are their clients dealing with. Again, these are all client-facing individuals. What are the struggles their clients are facing? And how can you, as Carl aptly put, how can you help in any way, shape, or form? Do you have any expertise that you'd be willing to lend or share, or knowledge that you could help lift any of these businesses up? The likelihood that they say yes is likely minimal, but you're building a relationship.
Yeah, and three quick super hacks to really knock these conversations out of the park. So the first thing is, when you find somebody, whether you go to Google and say CPA, Dallas, or wherever you are, or you go to LinkedIn and do a more detailed search, find that person and then check them out on LinkedIn, and then also check them out on Facebook. Go find them on Facebook. You'll see their photograph on LinkedIn, or you'll click to their website. You'll know what they look like. Go on Facebook. Find them on Facebook and find out who they are. What do they like? What sports team do they support? What kind of wine do they drink? What vacations have they had? Have they got a family? Great. And then when you call them, after you've asked them how they're doing with coronavirus and how you can potentially help, spend 5 minutes building the relationship. If you've got any connections, so if they're a Patriots fan and you're a Patriots fan, talk about your favorite game or your favorite player, or if you like red wine and so do they, talk about your favorite bottle. If they went to Cabo on vacation and you've been there, talk about your favorite bar that you went to. People love building relationships with people that kind of share things in common. Then once you've done that and you've got a great friendship and rapport already, and you're not even 10 minutes into the call, tell them who you are. Tell them who you are and what you're looking to achieve. So I'm Adam. I'm an entrepreneur. I've been working in sector ABC for the last 15 years, 5 years, 10 years. I work for this company, but you know what? It's time I own my own business. I want to build my own wealth. I want to build my own empire of businesses, or whatever you want to do. And I'm looking for people that can help me do deals. That's all you need to say. And then they'll tell you about what they do and how they can potentially kind of fit into that. And then your big kind of hook at the end, before you ask them formally for their help, is remind them why they should help you. So again, for a wealth manager, that, hey, well, if I buy one of your clients' businesses, Mr. Wealth Manager, you're going to have a string of cash that you can invest to protect and support the retiring seller in his next phase of life. Or if he's an attorney, say, hey, I'd love it.
There's a win for every professional on the list.
There's a win for every professional. And as I said, with attorneys and accountants or CPAs, there's two ways they can help you. They either have clients right now that they know are looking to sell their business, but they haven't gone to a broker. So if that turns into a deal, you just saved that client, that seller, from a whole bunch of broker fees and the pain and suffering of often going through brokers. If they don't have a client that can help you, they're going to want to find you a deal, because they know if they find you a deal, you're going to hire them to be your advisor, whether it's your CPA or your attorney, to get the due diligence done and or actually paper the legals of the deal that you sign when the business ownership transfers from the seller to you as the new owner. So everyone's got a vested interest. Financiers, the way the interest rates are tanking right now, debt has never been more affordable to take and leverage into a deal, and banks want to spend this money. So talking to banks, they'll happily find you a deal, because if they do and you buy it, they're going to be able to put money into that deal, and then that's how they make money.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, there's something in it for all of them at the end of the day. Even with a bank that's supporting the operations of the business, you've got two things. One, you've got an easy call for leverage potentially if that company goes to sell and you're looking for financing, because they'll want to maintain the deposit accounts. They'll want to continue ensuring any liens they have on the business are in good hands, right? So there's investment from a business perspective from all of them into why they would want you as a potential partner. And so again, the key is those four intermediaries, right? You've got your CPA or accountants, you've got your attorneys, primarily those who work with small businesses, but it could be any, right? Contract attorneys are great attorneys because they touch a ton of businesses, whether they're actually doing specific ones. You've got banks, financiers, people who are giving money to small businesses. They touch small businesses in every way, shape, or form. Meet a few commercial lenders. Those guys know how to network. They also know how to party. That's how they get businesses. They're constantly entertaining people. And then lastly is your wealth managers. And to me, of the four, wealth managers are the hidden gem, right? Yeah. Because these are the people who they're sitting with their client's 60 years old and like, do I have enough money to retire? And they're saying, well, you've got this much in the bank, but when you sell your business, we can expect money. And this is what will help tide you through. They're people who are actively every single day having conversations with their clients about when and how and what mechanisms are in place to help that person retire and move into the next phase of their life. That's all they do. That is the goal of good wealth managers, is getting people to that point. And in the small business space, we're not talking about, people who are private clients of Merrill Lynch who are worth $50 million or Goldman Sachs or any of that. No, we're talking about local wealth managers, financial planners, CFPs, people who are managing a portfolio of clients who have by and large gotten their wealth from small businesses or even high value wage earnings, but most of them are small business owners. That's where most wealth comes from. So these are just great people. My number one recommendation is wealth managers. Carl, I'm sure you've got a number one as well.
So wealth managers and lawyers are mine. Obviously, what I like about lawyers and also CPAs is not only can they get you deals, but you need these people to close deals as well. But you're right, wealth managers is the number one source. And what's interesting with wealth managers specifically, and this is what is so cool about the strategy, those individuals never get prospected. They're prospectors. They are in the relationship business. Any small wealth manager will spend at least half of his or her day doing exactly what you're going to be doing, out prospecting for opportunities. So when you contact them about how they can help you, and it's a quid pro quo, it's a win-win, they're in that game already. So they're going to love it. It's going to be like, wow, this is so cool. Someone's wanting now to talk to me. How cool is this?
Yeah, and it's not some sleazy mutual fund salesman. This is great.
Yeah, and imagine, so even if you're an entrepreneur and you say to yourself, hey, I'm about to go off and buy a whole bunch of businesses, I'm going to make some significant wealth in the next few years, I'm going to need a wealth manager to advise me. Do you think they're going to take your call? I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, and so again, I think the real goal here on this Mindset Monday is we want to challenge you guys to actually take action. We want you guys to move the ball forward. You've got the time, you've got more than enough mental capacity, and you've definitely got the acuity to do it. We want you guys to take the next steps as deal makers. So this Mindset Monday, this challenge for you is who in your network can you touch and build a relationship with? Even if it's someone you already know, it still counts. Who can you get on the phone you haven't talked to for a couple of weeks, maybe a couple months, maybe a year or two? Who can you get on the phone in your network and make it count? So set a goal for yourself. Again, do you want it to be 1, 2, maybe even a superstar 5 conversations in the next week? Carl, how many do you want them to get?
I think 1 a day is a very, very sensible, realistic goal. So between now and this time next week, 5 conversations minimum.
5 conversations. I agree. Let's see how many of you guys we can get to do 5 conversations with any of those 4 intermediaries. How many of you can take the next step in building a relationship that's going to pay dividends for you? As Carl said earlier on the call, 80% of deals are off market. And guess what? Off market deals are the best deals. You have much less transaction costs. You have much easier to manage seller expectations, and you have less intermediaries you've got to sell on why this is a good or bad deal for you and or the seller. And it's just a much cleaner process. Off-market deals are the best deals.
Hey, Adam, why don't we do this? So why don't we do this? So let's have a similar call this time next week. We can pick a different topic. How can people watching contact us to tell us how many?
It's real simple, Carl. We want them to leave their comments below. Tell us how many people you're going to call and then follow up when you actually make it happen. You don't have to put the names of who you're talking to, of course, privacy and all that. Put the number of people you want to talk to below, and then follow up your own chain. Come back, reply to your own comment, reply to others, encourage them, but tell us when you've made contact and how many people you've made contact with. Were they an accountant? Were they an attorney? Were they a financier? Or were they a wealth manager? Who did you talk to? Just leave them in the comments below from now until this time next week, and we'll have a chance to review that, and we'll see how many of you get on board and actually start commenting and letting us know what you're doing. It's the easiest way and fastest way for us to get feedback. So just drop it below in the comments.
Perfect. And definitely type it in. Everybody watching this right now, or if you're watching on a replay, type in for us all to see how many that you are absolutely committed to talking to. Because the thing about goals is when you share the goal and when you write it down where everyone can see it, your subconscious mind commits you to following through and taking action. Because it's one thing to say you're going to do it, but we got to follow through. This is an execution business as well. You've got to do the work. You've got to take the action. So definitely do that.
Yeah, to follow on that. So step 1, write your goal below. Step 2, as you're ticking off the boxes to hit your goal, start recording it. Talk to an accountant today. I've got 2 more calls to make, 3 more calls to make, whatever it is. Keep track of it. And when you see other people doing this, respond to each other, encourage each other. We want to be part of a community where everyone's accomplishing the same goals. We're deal makers, you're deal makers, and we want all of us to be in this together. So without further ado, Carl, do you have anything else to get these people kicked off?
No, just one other little quick hack that I think might be useful. I don't want anyone to have an excuse that they can't do this. If someone says, hey, I'm locked up at home and I'm homeschooling and I have a big honey-do list, zone out your house and zone out your day. What I mean by that is have a place in your house where you can work and you can quietly make calls. Even if it's a communal room, it's great that might be the kitchen table. You can have breakfast there, then pack away, and then have some focused time, and then zone out your day. So at the end of every day, I plan the following day. So I plan out what days am I making my calls? What days am I going to speak to Adam? What days am I doing
Every
some
day is a
writing.
good day when you speak to me, Carl.
Every day is a good day when I speak to you, especially because I haven't seen you for freaking 3 weeks.
I know. I miss you, buddy.
I know, I miss you too. I'm locked down in the UK, although it's beautiful. So yeah, zone out where you are, so you're in a cool place, and then zone out your day and lock down the 30 minutes a day or the hour a day or however much time you want to spend, where you're going to sit down and your single focus, turn off your emails, obviously turn off your phone because you'll need it, and make your calls. Just call these people and have these conversations. It's so important.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree. So guys, get started. Put your goals below. We want to see them. And then as you're doing it, as you're having these conversations, come back, respond to the same post. We want to see who's taking action on their goals, right? So looking forward to seeing what you guys can do in the next week. In the meantime, if any of you guys are looking for a little bit more assistance, want to check out Carl's 10-step business buying process, we've got a free report. It's Carl Allen's Business Buying Blueprint. If you guys want it, it'll be in the comments below. Don't worry about it. Super easy. No charge there. We're just trying to make sure everyone's got in their hands what they need to become deal makers. So anyways, guys, put your goals in the comments below. Certainly like and share the video with any other deal makers you guys have. We want people to take action, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys next week.
Take action, guys. Come on, let's do this.
All right, guys, you're only one deal away.
We'll see you soon, guys. Until then, bye for now.